Right, so location, truck stop, really? On the outskirts of town. That is my chariot. It's actually quite nice inside, it's very clean anyway. And it was very much a case of hurry up and wait, the old military adage. My pickup was due at 3 o'clock at the convent. This thing leaves at 4. They turned up at 2:30. And they were like, oh, we need to go now because traffic's really bad and we always plan ahead. And I was like, fair enough, I was ready anyway. Made it here for 3 o'clock. So I've been hanging around for about an hour. Anyway, next stop, well, ultimate destination for me anyway, is Abidjan, as I've said. Although this thing does go all the way to Accra in Ghana. But yeah, so farewell to Liberia. I've had a good time, actually. Yeah. Anyway, as always, if you like what I do, how I'm doing it, please do like and subscribe. Since I'm still hanging out here, just a last little coda about t-shirts. The sheer amount of the variety of unintentionally hilarious t-shirts you see in this area of the world. I don't know where they import them from or whatever, but I saw a guy today with "Boobies Make Me Smile," and he was like 65. And you just see this broad cross-section of fashion. I think my favourite one was actually in Sierra Leone. And it was one of those garish, incredibly patriotic t-shirts that only Americans can do that well. And it was this, it was like the usual thing, flag and eagle and declaration and all that stuff. And it said, Mexican by birth, American by choice. Absolutely killed me. Anyway, yeah, case in point, a guy, a t-shirt seller, just walked up and offered me what was obviously a brand new t-shirt with School of Kinesiology, University of Minnesota on it. I'm like, how random is that? Well, my friends, we'd better hope that this bus's cargo area is like the fucking TARDIS, I'll tell you that. Is it nearly 6 o'clock? It is. Is there a ridiculously inefficient way of sorting out cargo and packing the bus? Yes, definitely. And it's just gone 6 o'clock and we're still waiting to leave. Several metric tons of cargo, and I've just been advised by the guy who actually runs the place that my actual ETA is 6 p.m. tomorrow, because we're going to get to the border, sleep a few hours at the border, get across the border for about 6 a.m. apparently, and then it's 12 hours to Abidjan. This is Africa. And after just such a lot of faffing, Abby is now loaded and secure, which was of course my primary concern. Well, I do believe at 7 p.m. they're about ready to depart. I've been here for 4 hours. One has to remain philosophical about such things. Anyway. Good evening, friends. So after an interminable wait of 5 hours, we finally left the Matatu stop in question, and then 15 minutes later we stopped at another one where we now are sitting, adding cargo to the roof and so on and so forth. I realise it's petulant. I haven't had a freak out, of course. I had a 5-minute walk away and yell at the sky moment, just to keep equilibrium. It's not a journey, it's the weight. That's what always kills me a little bit. Once we're on the road, I'm absolutely fine while we're moving. That's the thing, but what I'm trying to tell myself is that it doesn't really matter for the ultimate destination, because we're going to rock up to the border, stop and sleep, as it were, and then as soon as the border opens in the morning we cross.
by that rationale, with the amended ETA, I will be in Abidjan at 6 p.m. or so tomorrow evening, which is absolutely fine. No problem. And of course, because of rules 5, 6, and 7, I have everything I need. I have a vape, I have water, I have whiskey, thank fuck, and I have food. Ginger nuts, to boot, actually. And I persuaded the very annoying kids to my left to turn off their speaker system, which was pumping out African hip-hop. Pretty worse. Anyway, good night. So, I am watching the Olympics outside, which is lashing luggage to the roof. Going back to my t-shirt comment, there's a guy here, and his t-shirt is very clearly American, and it has above a flag and an eagle. We owe illegals nothing. We owe veterans everything. My mood was already a touch dark tonight, and I didn't like that. Anyway, sidebar. So, this bus, they're transporting things like cans of soda and saucepans, 7 or 8 industrial-sized cardboard boxes full of saucepans, to go from Monrovia in Liberia to Accra in Ghana. I've been trying to work out the logic, and I can't. Nope. It is 10:20, and we are just about to leave the city. I must admit, being a bit hacked off. Beatrice. This is my girl Beatrice. Yes, she's a very nice companion to have. Oh my god. Testing even my patience. Morning, friends. It's a rather pretty morning, actually. I'm at the border, about to leave Liberia and head into the Côte D'Ivoire. It's 7:30 in the morning. A rather tedious night, actually. But it's daylight, and I think this part of the journey is going to be far more fun. Anyway. Oh. So, I'm on the Ivory Coast side, waiting for my bus. Now it's a big bus and it's early in the morning, and there are quite a few people on board, and most of them aren't from either Liberia or from Côte d'Ivoire, so might take a bit of time. So I thought I'd get ahead of it and get stamped out of Liberia, stamped into Côte d'Ivoire, which I have. Pretty easy going, actually. And I just had some local food because I was pretty hungry, which consisted of a spicy chicken stew and some kind of boiled, large, starchy root vegetable. I have no idea what it is. It was alright. Anyway, so I'm sitting in the shade. Now it's just a waiting game. All we're burning here is time because the hard part's over. And I'm fairly comfortable. They have these quite cool armchairs. Well, not an armchair, I suppose, but a chair anyway. A kind of like comfortable wooden chair that you can lean back in. And I got my feet up. So, it's all good. Well, friends, hell of a day. We were at the border for 4.5 hours because the border guards insisted on checking every single bag for drugs, and it was a fully rammed, cargo-laden bus. The upshot is that I'm probably not going to be able to get to Abidjan before midnight. It's a bit murderous, considering my original ETA was 13 hours before that. Anyway, I'll keep you posted.
Hey friends, location Yamoussoukro, which is a major city about 2 hours north of Abidjan. It's 10 p.m. I'm going to be in Abidjan about midnight. Fortunately, I was able to grab a hotspot from a kid on the bus, and I have confirmed with my hostel there will be someone there to receive me when I arrive. It's been a hell of a day, but in a good way. This is my girl Beatrice, who is my seatmate on the coach.
I'm the crazy one. And this is the crazy one.
The little Miss Dancer girl.
I'm the crazy one.
Now, I've got a fortunately and unfortunately. This is kind of like a food stop, and you have these amazing grills all the way along for that purpose. Unfortunately, I only changed up $5 at the border. I do still have some food. I'm not like, desperately hungry or anything. I need an ATM. Yes, darling. Okay, let's check it out. Okay, so plan now. Grab a quick meal, grab a beer, a cold beer would be nice, and then get back on the bus for the last trip. Then get there, get a taxi to take me to an ATM and then to my hostel, and then die with honor. Right, so a quick word on that. That is a customs seal on both of the luggage compartments. Earlier on, I mentioned that we were stuck at the border until midday, having got there shortly after dawn. So really, it was a 4-hour wait for the actual DEA, it's actually called that, to search all of the luggage and cargo. And we were asked to go and sit in a nearby village and wait there. And then when we got back to the coach, the seals were on there. So I haven't been able to check Abby. And it has to be said, man, I'm a little concerned about what might be missing from my bag. I guess we'll see. Morning, friends. So I've been dropped off in Abidjan, in the center of the island, which is the center of town, as it were, at the worst possible time to be dropped in a new city, which is 3:30 in the morning. So my plan is to go to the train station, the main train station, where hopefully it'll be open, there'll be an ATM, and then I can operate. Right, so my plan for the intercity train station that I found on Google Maps, which wasn't far from my previous location, has turned out to be a bit of a bust. I need to find an ATM, and then at a reasonable hour of the morning, because I was advised yesterday when I thought that my ETA was going to be about 1 a.m. latest, that a guy would wait up for me. It is now 4 a.m, so I'm very much hoping he's gone to bed. So I'm just sitting on a wall. The situation, of course, is not tragic because I'm good at what I do. So I have water. I've had half a litre of water. I still have half a litre of water. I do have food, a few bits and pieces. And so, yeah, I'm just going to have a rest here for half an hour or so, and then see what we can see. I'm thinking what I'm probably going to try and do is strike north of here, because, as I said, we're on an island and there are 2 bridges across to, if you like, central Abidjan. Now, I'm not saying the situation is unsketchy, because I'm alone in an unfamiliar city. But, and also my mother had done some research, and one of the recommendations was that don't cross the bridge across to Abidjan, the bridge I'm going to take, or at least be very careful when you do, because people have been robbed. A, I carry a very big stick. B, I walk with the confidence in my step. And so unless they have firearms, I think I'll be okay. And also it's very early in the morning, so there's that.
So I think that's what I'm going to do, because I need to find an ATM. Once I have cash, local cash anyway, I can then get a taxi and rock up to my hostel at a reasonable hour, like 6 o'clock, which gives me 2 hours. 6:30 I think is a reasonable time to rock up. And then get there, secure my stuff, have a shower and start work at 10 o'clock. Anyway, hope you're smiling. This made me smile though. Green prices, or the price of being green. It's not easy being green. Right, half an hour later. So, I'm about to put my pack back on and start walking. I think it's going to be 15-20 minutes, which is getting onto the main road, going north, crossing the bridge, and then going into essentially Abidjan Centro. There's supposed to be a beautiful mosque there. I've read idly, so I haven't done too much research about it, and I thought that might be a nice place to watch the sunrise. So that is my tentative plan. The ATM is my only concern, because I have enough on me for 2 bags of water at a side stall. All fine, of course. I mean, but I could use one being on my way. That would be preferable. Anyway. Right, so having spent a merry 20 minutes just outside of Boulangerie, found a fairly pleasant little throne to sit on. There's nothing quite so annoying right now as being outside of Boulangerie with fresh pastries sitting in the window and no legal tender with which to buy it. Yeah, fun. Anyway, oh, careful. So, I had 2 choices. One was just to get a taxi, stop at an ATM and head straight to the place. I chose against that because I'd rock up at 5 AM and there's no telling what would happen really, and I won't be just sitting outside the bloody thing for ages. So the other option was the one I'd already said, which is go for a bit of a walk across the bridge and head to a mosque for sunrise. The romantic in me, I suppose. So I'm doing both really, because doing the walk, and if I think better of that decision, this is a major taxi thoroughfare. Also, this is a major road, so I think my chances of finding a bank with an ATM are fairly reasonable. Anyway, oh, one more thing. Ordinarily at this point, I would put in my headphones and play some Metallica to put a spring in my step. I'm not going to do that, because as much as everything seems hunky-dory, assumption is the mother of all fuck-ups. I want to keep my ears clear. Objective achieved. Oh. Right, so I've achieved what I set out to achieve, which is good. When I got some money out, I found an ATM, got 40k ZOF. ZOF is the West African franc, about 7 countries use it, which is about $40. My Revolut card didn't work in that machine. I'm gonna have to find another one, and I'm gonna have to take out like a decent lump, which I can, because unlike Guinea-Bissau, Guinea and Sierra Leone, in hyperinflation has been an issue, and so you can get a decent amount of money in one shot, because the price tag here for a one withdrawal is about $6.50, which is quite a lot of money actually. So I'm going to do that. But having done what I set out to do, and it's 5 to 6 now, I've been going for about 2.5 hours. It's now going to find a taxi, take me to my lodging. Hopefully after 6 AM they'll be up and around and let me in. Yeah.